Hi, good afternoon, it's Gene from maverickstar Observatory. Guys, in this upload we're going to be talking about Earth Health at a Glance, one of our recent new pages over the last 6 weeks, is it? Just over a month? Getting on for a month and a half? Okay, doesn't really matter, but we've got it now. And what this is about, offering convenience to people that don't have a lot of time. If you haven't got a lot of time to go over to USGS, Goddard Space Centre for the latest solar activity and things like that, we've built this page. Covers atmospheric CO2 parts per million, atmospheric oxygen, the magnetic north pole, longitude and latitude, which gets updated every month. We've got also, let's just go through the little list that we've got. Radiation background count, so if you're interested in what the levels are, at least here over the UK, we're going to start expanding this to other countries as well, so you get an idea of what's going on in your local country at least. We also add the largest earthquake. We got the muons per hour per meter squared. Now, the longitude and latitude of the Earth's magnetic north pole, which is in migration at the moment. As you know, we have the Trimag system, which is a bespoke piece of kit which gives us that information for us. Also, we've got muon detectors. I don't know of any observatory on the internet that is telling people the levels of muons at the moment. Might be wrong, it's maybe because I haven't searched hard enough. I believe perhaps somebody else out there has got a muon detector and they put that information up on the site, but we do anyhow. Sunspot numbers, we talk about the geomagnetic field with regards to it being quiet or unsettled or in a storm. You've got solar x-rays. As you can see, these are all normal, quiet, and the jet stream, we know it's unsettled. We know we've got interaction between polar jet streams and subtropical, both over the northern and southern hemispheres, so that information is on there. And then we've got, after the jet stream conditions, which are unstable, we've got global magnetometers, and we've got 5 magnetometers out there active. We have got a few others. One's disappeared in India, we never saw it, never got no data off it, but we also had Kentucky and South California, but we've managed to get one in Arizona, which is sort of like in between those two. I know that it's around about 500 miles from Tucson, Arizona, so we've got that area covered of the United States at least. And then last of all, we have the magnetosphere strength. Again, I don't know anyone that publicly informs people of the magnetosphere strength, and we're very lucky to have some superstars. I've got to give a big shout out to one of our recent superstars that's come on board. Not only is he housing one of our magnetometers, and we're going to be sending at some point a muon detector to him if he's willing to take one of them on board as well. Not so much work involved as looking after the magnetometer with the the taking out of the SD card, putting it in the computer, sending me the file. Basically all you have to do with that is look at the dial, give me the rate of time that the muon detector has been counting and the count rate. I'll do the rest. But we've got to give him a big shout out as well, because he's also a supporter of our channel. One of the few that regularly support our channel, and he's obviously very keen to do whatever he can to help the observatory, and he's also in one of the main areas of our planet right now, Canada. And if you can see here it's unstable, and the reason for that is because it is diminishing that magnetic intensity, and we've got one of our magnetometers in place, and we're going to spot just exactly how fast that intensity drops off in that region. And hopefully, I was talking to a friend of mine today, we really need to get a magnetometer into Russia if we can, in the epicenter of Russia where that high intensity is. Only problem with that is it's not everywhere. It's like Moscow in Russia, and there's a lot of little villages, and a lot of them, like you could say that they're almost still in times of the 80s. So they're very simple people having simple lives there. But it would be great if we could get one in the epicenter of Russia, because that is one of the increasing intensities on our planet, because that is the reason why or one of the two reasons why the magnetic North Pole is migrating, because first of all, Canada is reducing in intensity. Second of all, Russia is increasing intensity. Now I just want to say something, guys. This is something else I was discussing with a friend today. You know, although we didn't ask all the authorities that were involved in the countries where our magnetometers are if we could conduct a scientific survey on the magnetosphere with our magnetometers, we still have had Hong Kong, China, Canada, the United States and Australia, and here in the UK come together on this platform to, you know, monitor the magnetic intensities in these regions with our magnetometers. Think about it. You know, if we set aside our differences, do you see how easy it is to achieve things? You know, we wouldn't get this information if we had to go through all that red tape of asking the you know, ministers of these countries if we can have this magnetometer in there, would you mind, and explain that it's nothing, you know, spying or anything like that. It's just simply scientific based, and you know, we want to find out what's going on with our world fast, as opposed to going through all this red tape. This is just a little testament of when you push the authorities aside to get what you need done, you can achieve great things. And if we can do that in Russia, you know, we will have united another country in with our program of collecting information that is on all other extremities, you know, being at loggerheads with some form of political agenda or other at other points in time. I'm not saying it's Russia's fault, America's fault, the UK's fault. You know what, just I ain't interested. As a scientist, I'm interested in the science and what that can give to the people of the world, as opposed to the petty squabbles and arguments of these leaders that they have with regards to oil and big business and big corp and this, that and the other. I really don't care. What I'm interested in, as you guys know, is getting whatever we need back here in the UK so that we can process it and find out what really is going on. The other thing is, there are, you know, in all these countries, we've got the British Geological Survey here. Canada has a similar thing, you know, the Canadian Geological Survey. America has, you know, its high-tech facilities such as NASA. You know, Europe has European Space Agency, and they all do similar research to what we do. I mean, we know that the ESA had the Swarm mission, so, you know, but after level 2 information, nobody got any wind of what was going on with that mission. Yet taxpayers from all over Europe, including the United Kingdom, paid for that operation to take place in the first place. It's just a shame that they're not forthcoming. We have had, obviously, as you know, we're a grassroots observatory. I hope one day we've become more than that, and the only way that is going to happen is by, you know, awareness of people understanding what we're trying to do and really wanting to support. But we are grassroots, but that doesn't stop us packing a humongous punch when it comes to delivering data. We've beat some of these big organisations, guys, and we're still doing a great job. You know, we hit the road running this year with the muon detectors. You know, otherwise, if we never had MIT's design and program, we would have had to spend thousands of pounds to get magnetometers, as opposed to, you know, £300 or £400 to build just one. I know when you're building and ordering components singly, you're paying more for them. Simple as that. But it hasn't stopped us in the progression of pushing a little bit further each time. And, you know, we're now in Arizona, we're in Canada, and who knows, in the next couple of months we could already be in Brazil and maybe even Russia. If that's the case, we cover all the major activity, what's going on in our world. You know, that is with the exception of the mid-Atlantic anomaly, which is the lowest intensity of magnetism on our planet, which is splitting and showing signs of activity. You know, it would be great if we could put a magnetometer and a muon detector over in South Africa and monitor the increase in muons as the depletion of the, you know, mid-Atlantic anomaly moves in on that region or that continent. You know, we would pick it up with our equipment. So We're doing a great job. This is another addition to what we've done this year, the Earth's Health at a Glance, and it's really for convenience. People want convenience these days. They don't want to go through 10 pages to get a quick look at what's going on in their world. And I believe there's much more we can add to the information that we've got on this page, and we will do. Simple as that. We will do. But we can't do it all in one go. And it has been a progression. And the natural progression has led us now to not just study the background radiation, but specifically a particular particle of a result of inbound cosmic rays, which is the muons. We know that when cosmic rays collide with upper atmospheric molecules in our atmosphere, it causes a cascade effect, smashing into other particles, and muons are one of the byproducts of that. That taking place, and we can detect with our muon detectors that very thing. So we are delivering a great package here, and to the majority of people it's free. I've got to say this, guys, we have 7,000 people view our website, we have 130,000 people view us on YouTube, and we've got 30,000 subscribers, and we are taking a bit of flack from some of these organisations that are in the business at the moment of suppressing information. And it doesn't make our job or hit my job any easier here when that's happening. It obviously slows down the rate of information we can spread to other people, and you guys can help with that by word of mouth, and you can help by supporting, and not just overlooking the fact that we've got a donate button on the website. Or you could become one of our patrons. It's as simple as that. And I'm not going to go on any more about it. I might just mention it just briefly at the end of this video. But what I wanted to talk about now is something equally that is affecting us short term, and that is this COVID-19. My stepdaughter come back from school today with a note saying that she'd been sent home for 14 days because one of the pupils in her class has been tested positive for influenza, as we call it, but we know it is formally known as COVID-19, isn't it? Well, you imagine that if there's 20 people in her class and 20 of the students have had to go home as a result of this, and that means if one person has been in the vicinity of someone in a situation where they've been proven to have COVID-19, then that means that our little unit back at home has got to isolate as well for 14 days. It is going to affect probably this little matter, and I know this is happening all over the world at the moment. It's not just related to the UK. This is going to affect everyone around the world, but it is going to directly affect today, just because of this little incident, over 100 people or more, because it will be 20 families that get affected, and it's the peoples within the family household that's going to be affected as a result. We are never going to stop the collapse of the British economy if we continue to behave like this. I am not insensitive to the vulnerable people. They are the ones that should be encouraged and helped to take further precautions, but to isolate and just do this across the range is reckless. You've got to be clear about this. You've got to think logically. COVID-19, if it is a problem, it is already uncontainable. This is an airborne virus. You can't contain this. It's gone too far. Even if you cure it in one country and allow air corridors and travel mechanisms to take place, you are always going to be importing or exporting COVID-19 now. It is in virtually every country, if not every country in the world, and it is rife in every country. You can't contain it. You have now got no alternative. Would be my advice to the governments of the world would be just allow herd immunity, but managed herd immunity to take place from here on out. And we've got this for the next 10 years, guys, before we get it through herd immunity. So that means there are always going to be vulnerable people dying that would have died of influenza if not COVID-19. We already know that people have died through influenza that didn't have COVID-19 were stamped on their death certificate of having COVID-19. We've heard that people have been in car crashes and the reason for death was not the accident, by multiple organ damage through the accident itself. It was through COVID-19. So there's an agenda taking place. They want more people to know that more people, even if they're not, are dying of COVID-19. And that's why I think there's something very fishy about this, and that it is being used as a cloak for something else. And I think it is, like I said a couple of days ago in the video, I think what we are looking at is world governments trying to achieve a situation where circumstances are met where they can then turn around to other world governments where they owe the debt to and say we can't afford to pay you because the country has been broken due to this virus and we have lost collateral sums of money in revenues raised by taxes, and as a result, people have lost thousands of homes, jobs, businesses across the range, and therefore we meet the criteria to turn around to you today and say we are going to have to finage on those bonds that we sold you and the debt that we owe you. And I think that that's what this is all about. But in order for them to get to that criteria and meet that criteria, they have to collapse businesses, and it is completely nothing short of corruption, illegal and wrong. I think you'll agree. And we are seeing this go before our eyes, and we're doing very little about it. And it's going to make matters even worse the more we ignore it. So we really need to start thinking of solutions to deal with these governments that are behaving, in my view, tyrannical. It's nothing short. When you purposely know that the situation isn't as bad as what you're letting on, and yet you are pushing it, and at the same time deliberately destroying businesses across the range, then I think you not only should be taken out of power, you should be removed immediately from your job in government. And we're not seeing that happen. In fact, they know they're that far in the wrong here in the UK, is that what they've asked now is for the military to guard the Houses of Parliament and number 10 Downing Street now. Why would that be the case if you was doing the right thing and you was confident in doing the right thing? Why would you think that the public would want to disrupt your running of the country if you was really doing what you were supposed to be doing? Doesn't make any sense. It's the times we're living in, guys. Not only we're dealing with all these anomalies that are changing the way our planet responds to the magnetic pole reversal, we're also dealing with clowns running countries and criminals. That's where we've arrived today. We openly elect billionaires to run a country, or elite aristocrat families. What the hell are you telling me? Out of here in the UK, out of 70 million people, we haven't got someone more suitable to take control of the country and run it more honestly? Are you telling me in the United States we haven't got that sort of person out of 300 million? If that is the best that we can put in power, then it just is a demonstration, isn't it, of where we are today. In any case, I just don't understand the mentality, the rationality, the decision making that's being made, the policies that are in place right now. I just don't understand it. Today, walking into a shop, it said no mask, no entry. What has happened in 2020, guys? How come we were so easily removed of our human and freedom rights? Okay, I think the bottom line is, we all got to do what we've got to do, and we can only do our best, can't we? And we've got to start thinking optimistically, and I suppose we've got to pray for those that are less fortunate than ourselves. Remember, beginning of next month, 50,000 here in the UK and millions worldwide will be losing their homes along with their families. Let's just pray that they're safe. And at the same time, let's pray that we continue to get supported here at the observatory, and we go from strength to strength. That would be a great testament. And with that, I'll say what I usually do. There's a link down there if you want to support us. There's one on the website if you want to support us. You can become a patron. And the only thing to say is, guys, you have a great evening. And as always, bye for now.